Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look on what is happening in India and in the world. Social media giant Facebook said Wednesday that it has removed dozens of accounts linked to supporters or employees of Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro as part of an investigation into spread of false news online. Nathaniel Gleicher, the company's head of cybersecurity policy, said in a statement that 73 Facebook and Instagram accounts, 14 pages and one group was removed. Brazilian courts have been investigating the spread of false news in connection with Bolsonaro. There was no immediate comment from the presidential office about Facebook's action. Facebook's executive said the accounts were linked to the Social Liberal Party, which Bolsonaro left last year after winning the 2018 presidential election. This network consisted of several clusters of connected activity that relied on a combination of duplicate and fake accounts, some of which had been detected and disabled by our automated systems to evade enforcement, create fictitious personas posing as reporters, post comment, and manage pages masquerading as news outlets, Gleicher said in a statement. Australia offered pathways to permanent residency for thousands of people from Hong Kong on Thursday in response to China's crackdown on dissent, drawing a furious reply from Beijing. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said his government was suspending its extradition agreement with the city, and in addition to extending the visas of 10,000 Hong Kongers already in the country, three opened the door to thousands more waiting to start a new life down under. Morrison said the decisions were taken in response to China's imposition last week of a tough new security law in Hong Kong, which he said constitutes a fundamental change of circumstances for the semi-autonomous territory. Beijing shot back, condemning the Australian announcements as a violation of fundamental principles of international relations. China reserves the right to take further reactions. All consequences will be borne by Australia, warned Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor G.C. Murmu on Thursday condemned the killing of BJP leader Sheikh Wasim Bari and two of his family members in Bandipora district, saying the perpetrators of the cowardly act shall be brought to justice. Bari's father Bashir Ahmad and brother Umar Bashir were injured when militants opened fire on them outside Bari's shop near police station Bandipora at around 9 p.m. on Wednesday. They were rushed to the district hospital where they succumbed to injuries. In a condolence message, the Lieutenant Governor has said that the barbaric act of killing innocent people is against humanity, and the perpetrators of this cowardly act shall be brought to justice, an official spokesman said. He said Murmu expressed his deepest sympathies with the bereaved family and prayed for peace to the departed souls. A fault in a key transmission line has disrupted power supply in three districts of Arunachal Pradesh since Sunday afternoon, posing a serious challenge for the authorities to manage COVID-19 care centers, a minister has said. The Khatalguri Devmali 220 kilovolt line tripped due to a technical snag at 4:32 p.m. on Sunday, disrupting power supply in Tirap, Changlang and Longding districts. Public Health Engineering and Water Supply Minister Wangki Lowang said that the executive engineer concerned has given assurance that the power supply would be restored within 2 or 3 days. Iowa praised Deputy Chief Minister Chow Na-mein, who is also the power minister, of the critical situation and urged him to take urgent steps for restoration of electricity supply to end sufferings of the people. Loang said, "Power problem has affected functioning of the COVID facilities in 3 districts," the minister said. The hospitals have generators, but there is lack of manpower in these facilities to operate them, official sources said. The local administrations have arranged for tankers to supply water to the hospitals, but the quantity is not adequate. Local people are collecting water from streams and waterfalls for household use. Gangster Vikas Dubey, wanted in connection with the Kanpur ambush, in which 8 policemen were killed, was arrested from Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh on Thursday, an official said. Madhya Pradesh Home Minister Narottam Mishra confirmed the development. He told reporters that Dubey is in the state police custody in Ujjain. The minister did not confirm if the gangster, carrying a reward of rupees 5 lakh on information leading to his arrest, was nabbed from within or outside the Mahakal temple premises. We will share details after going deep into the matter. It is a matter of intelligence and we cannot reveal it now, the minister said. When reporters asked if a priest or a security guard had identified the gangster, it is a big achievement for the Madhya Pradesh police. They were on high alert after the Kanpur incident, Mishra said. Meanwhile, temple sources said Dubey reached the temple gate in the morning and purchased rupees 250 ticket from a counter near the police post. When he went to a nearby shop to buy prasad for the deity, the shop owner identified him and alerted police. They added. Chauhan said he spoke to his Uttar Pradesh counterpart Yogi Adityanath after the gangster's arrest. The MP police will hand over Dubey to Uttar Pradesh police. Meanwhile, 2 more aides of Dubey were gunned down in separate encounters in Uttar Pradesh, police said. The Supreme Court Wednesday asked Solicitor General Tushar Mehta to look into a plea seeking action against illegal ashrams run by bogus babas across the country and rescuing women from jail-like conditions in Adhyatmik Vidyalaya at Rohini. A bench of Chief Justice S.A. Bobde and Justices R. Subhash Reddy and A.S. Bopanna asked the copy of the petition to be served to Mehta and posted the matter after 2 weeks. The plea filed by one Dampala Ram Reddy claimed in his petition that his daughter, a postdoctoral scholar from Iowa State University, has been living in a jail-like condition from July 2015 in Adhyatmik Vidyalaya, founded allegedly by a rape accused. He said the founder of the ashram has been declared as absconding for about 3 years, and a joint committee formed by the Delhi High Court had submitted a report giving details of the pathetic conditions prevailing in the ashram run by Virender Dev Dikshit. The police said the apex body of the SAGAS, Akhil Bharatiya Akhada Parishad, has declared a list of 17 fake babas in the country, which include the name of Virender Dev Dikshit. Ram Reddy, appearing in person, sought rescuing of his daughter along with about 170 women inmates from Adhyatmik Vidyalaya, as it was done in case of inmates of jail across the country. Private sector lender Yes Bank on Thursday said it has filed a red hearing prospectus to raise up to rupees 15,000 crore through issuance of fresh equity shares in its further public offerings. The offer will open on July 15, 2020 and close on July 17, 2020. Earlier this week, Yes Bank had received approval from the Capital Raising Committee of its Board of Directors to raise funds through the offerings. The bank has filed a red herring prospectus dated July 7, 2020 in connection with the offer with the Registrar of Companies, Maharashtra at Mumbai. Yes Bank said in a regulatory filing. Yes Bank said the offer size of the FPO is rupees 15,000 crore by way of a fresh issue of equity shares, including an employee reservation portion of up to rupees 200 crore. The Executive Committee of State Bank of India's Central Board has given approval for the maximum investment of up to rupees 1,760 crore in the FPO. An SBI statement said on Wednesday. On March 13, the government had approved a bailout plan for Yes Bank. Under the plan, Yes Bank had received around rupees 10,000 crore from 8 financial institutions, including rupees 6,050 crore from SBI. On Tuesday, Yes Bank had said a meeting of the CRC of the bank is scheduled to be held on or after July 10, 2020 to consider and approve amongst the other things the price band and discount if any. Shares of Yes Bank were trading 2.49% higher at rupees 26,775 apiece on BSE. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Thursday inaugurated 6 bridges in border areas of Jammu and Kashmir and asserted that development of remote areas in the region will continue to be a key priority for the NDA government. The Defense Minister dedicated the bridges through video conferencing in presence of Chief of the Army Staff General M.M. Naravane, Defense Secretary Ajay Kumar, Director General of Border Roads Organizations, Lieutenant General Harpal Singh, among others. 4 bridges were constructed on the Akhnur-Pallanwala road in Akhnur, while 2 bridges were built on the Tarna Nalla in Kathua district. The Defense Ministry said in a statement, the total cost of construction of the bridges was rupees 43 crore. The inauguration of the bridges built by the Border Roads Organization comes at the time when India and China are engaged in a border row in eastern Ladakh. Officials said the dedication of the bridges to the people of Jammu and Kashmir carries a bigger message that India will continue to develop key infrastructure in border areas, notwithstanding hostilities by any adversary. Our government is committed to promoting infrastructure on our borders and necessary resources will be provided for this. Our government has a keen interest in the development of Jammu and Kashmir, Rajnath Singh said in his brief address. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
Vesavi Avtundi fan with the cooler number 1. Ika Chesco more fun unte cooler number 1. Ika don't run from the sun unte Kelta number 1.
दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना दीवाना दीवाना
कचारिया टाइल्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said despite a population of nearly 24 crore, Uttar Pradesh managed to check the spread of coronavirus and overcame apprehensions on how the pandemic would impact the state. Interacting with representatives of various Varanasi-based NGOs via video link, he said Kashi has vigorously countered the unprecedented coronavirus crisis. Varanasi, which is also known as Kashi, is the Prime Minister's parliamentary constituency. He recalled that 100 years ago a pandemic had struck. Though the population of India was much smaller, it was among the countries that had witnessed maximum deaths, he pointed out. This time too, during the outbreak of coronavirus, experts had raised concerns about India. He said, adding that issues such as rise in virus cases due to movement of migrants and food for the needy were flagged. There were doubts and apprehensions about the Uttar Pradesh too, with a population of 23 to 24 crore. With the hard work of the people and their cooperation, the apprehensions were overcome. Modi noted that Brazil too has a population comparable to Uttar Pradesh, but it witnessed thousands of deaths due to the virus. In Uttar Pradesh, the deaths due to the COVID-19 are reported to be nearly 800, he pointed out. He said the state checked the pace of COVID-19 spread and also those infected with the virus are recovering fast. The National Green Tribunal has directed the Delhi government to comply with the Supreme Court order to levy sewerage charges on all households in the national capital for discharge of untreated effluents in Yamuna. The Green Panel noted that 2.3 lakh people in unauthorized colonies in Delhi have not taken sewage connection, which was resulting in emission of pollutants in the river. The NGT said, as per polluter pays principle, every individual household causing pollution by release of sewage into open environment or in the sewer network is liable for payment for its treatment. The Delhi government may forthwith comply with the order of the Supreme Court dated October 24, 2019 on the subject of levy and recovery of the sewage charges. A bench headed by NGT Chairperson Justice A.K. Goel said, in 2015, the Green Panel had directed the authorities to charge every household in Delhi an environmental compensation amount for generating sewage based on the polluter pays principle. Later, the top court upheld the NGT order asking Delhi government to start levying sewerage charges on all households in the capital within 2 months. The NGT said major problem continues to be pollution caused by discharge of sewage, industrial effluents and other pollutants. The S&P BSE Sensex and NSE Nifty 50 indexes resumed their up move after a day's breather in the previous session, led by gains in metal, banking and financial services shares. The Sensex rallied as much as 477 points and Nifty 50 index touched an intraday high of 10,836. With today's gains, the benchmarks rose to fresh 4 months highs. The Sensex ended 409 points higher at 36,737 and Nifty 50 index climbed 108 points to close at 10,813. All sector gauges bearing the index of FMCG shares ended higher, led by the Nifty metal index's 2% gain. Banking and financial services shares also witnessed strong buying interest. Mid and small cap shares ended mixed as Nifty Mid Cap 100 Index rose 0.4%, while Nifty Small Cap 100 Index rose 1%. Among the individual shares, Strides Pharma Science shares surged as much as 5% to hit an intraday high of rupees 431 after it got approval from the US drug regulator, US Food and Drug Administration. TCS was down 0.6% ahead of its earning announcement due later in the day. Hindalco was the top Nifty gainer. The stock rose 6.6% to close at rupees 165. HDFC, State Bank of India, Bajaj Finance, Tata Steel, GAIL India and Bajaj Finserv were also among the gainers. On the flip side, Bharti Airtel, Coal India, Tech Mahindra, ONGC, Hero MotoCorp, Wipro and Maruti Suzuki were also among the notable losers. The government is considering a plan to raise as much as rupees 20,000 crore by selling stake in the world's largest coal producer and a bank to fund a stimulus program aimed at boosting the virus-battered economy. Officials with knowledge of the matter said the proposal involves a share sale depending on the market sentiment, said the officials, who asked not to be identified as the discussions are private. In case of Coal India, if valuations are not attractive, the company will buy back shares from the government. Two calls made to the Finance Ministry spokesperson remained unanswered. The coronavirus pandemic has derailed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's budget goals. Rapid spread of the disease prompted the government to boost spending on welfare programs and revive the economy struggling from the month-long stay-at-home order to check the spread of COVID-19. PM Modi in February had planned to raise as much as rupees 2.1 lakh crore selling state assets in a bid to keep the budget deficit at 3.5% of GDP. LIC bought 51% of IDBI Bank last year, leaving the government with about 47%. The government holds more than 66% in Coal India. It had previously sold a 10% stake in January 2015, mopping up rupees 22,550 crore. Economists in Bloomberg survey expect the country's fiscal deficit this year to hit 7% of the GDP, a level last seen in 1994. The International Monetary Fund sees the country's public debt rising to 85.7% of the GDP next year from around 70% now. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged countries on Thursday to stop financing for coal and commit not to build new coal-fired power plants to enable shift to clean energy. He spoke at a virtual clean energy transition summit of 40 countries, representing 80% of energy use and greenhouse gas emissions. They discussed steps to buoy economies, cut emissions, and make energy systems more resilient to climate change. As countries look to revive their economies from the slowdown caused by the coronavirus pandemic, governments and investors have been calling for recovery packages to focus in part on green stimulus. The European Union and South Korea have already pledged environmentally minded recovery programs. But Guterres said some countries have used them to also prop up fossil fuel companies, which were already struggling financially, and others have chosen to jumpstart coal-fired power plants. Indian conglomerate Tata Sons, in its talks to buy out Air Asia Group, stakes in their airline joint venture in India at a steep discount said by banking sources. Tata Sons will likely tie up with other financial investors to acquire AirAsia's 49% stake in the venture, according to the newspaper. Malaysian budget carrier AirAsia said earlier in the day that was in talks to raise more than 1 billion ringgit in the funds, a day after its auditor cast doubts on its ability to continue as a going concern. Tata Sons declined to comment. AirAsia did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Yes Bank founder Rana Kapoor and his family's assets worth over rupees 1200 crore, including properties in London, New York and Mumbai, have been seized by the ED today under the anti-money laundering law. Properties of DHFL promoter brothers Kapil and Dheeraj Wadhwan worth rupees 1400 crore have also been seized by the probe agency. Rana Kapoor and his family's properties include farmland and resorts in Delhi, Mumbai and Goa, and the properties in central London and New York. Rupees 50 crore in fixed deposits has also been seized by the agency. This is the first set of attachments by the agency in the case. The agency has accused Rana Kapoor, his family members and others of accusing Yes Bank to extend big loans in exchange for kickbacks that the bank later turned into a non-performing assets. Both Enforcement Directorate and the Central Bureau of Investigation have already filed charge sheets in May and June respectively against Rana Kapoor and his family. The CBI had filed a charge sheet against Rana Kapoor, his wife Bindu and daughter Roshini, among others, last month in connection with an alleged rupees 600 crore bribe received from scam-tainted DHFL promoter Kapil Wadhwan. Officials also said properties of DHFL promoter brothers Kapil and Dheeraj Wadhwan worth rupees 1400 crore have also been seized as part of provisional order issued by it under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. This includes 12 apartments, land in Pune, properties in London, Australia and New York. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.